Yes, sir. Year 15, boys. And we're back. Look at those. I got Jerry in the booth over here with me.
I have one. I'm in the sewers.
And Diz is in his hole.
Where I belong.
Well, boys, we're back. And this is
It's been a
episode
long
50.
time.
Yeah, episode 55 Wilson time. Holy smokes. That is impressive. Round of applause for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, you're welcome. I've been here too.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, DVFFL. And thank you, DVFFL, for 15 years of pure chaos and detriment to our mental health. So, yeah, I don't know. 15 years? What do we even have to say? So much freaking time.
Let me ask you guys this. How are you feeling about football coming back and essentially becoming your schedule? I remember last year when we were trying to set up the filming and like how to take our notes, and then you got to watch the games, do your fantasy. It's a 24/7 commitment. How you guys feel about that?
Red, you go first.
I, for one, am ready for the majority of my week to be consumed by football again. However, I do have to mentally prepare myself for the amount of letdown and just stress that it's going to bring onto my body. So I feel like everybody needs to find like an outlet somehow. Like, I don't know if it's yoga, I don't know if it's meditation, but it's about to be a stressful season once again.
Namaste.
Exactly.
For real.
Yeah. I already know what's going to be. Pretty much getting not a lot of work done at my actual job and stressing more so about my lineup and trades. But no, I'm excited for it. Yeah, Wilson time. Got some stuff brewing that we're going to incorporate into future episodes. We're going to try to keep upgrading this thing every single year. But yeah, man. Also, Red, being on time to our shows will be great too. We're going to get that locked in.
I don't know why it's always just a running joke.
You know why.
We're shooting this a week later because of you.
Okay, yeah. Dylan and Diz live in a house together where they have conversations and they expect me to know what they're having. Yeah, exactly. The fucking driving crew.
What? Yes. But no,
I mean, we do talk about it as pillow talk. At the end of the night, when me and Bill snuggle up on each other, we're like, we should shoot this week.
Yeah. Don't tell Red. We'll fucking make him seem like he's late.
Stroke my hair while I think of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You mean what's left of your hair?
Hey, that baby's looking nice right there. Yeah, Red, I'll need a little transplant from your hair there, please.
That's all right. No hard feelings.
Walks. I'll stick them over there. Yeah, they say, let's take it easy.
No, I think it's funny because, like, at this point, right, like, we're just, we're all so close. We all know this and everything. But it was funny. Somebody was mentioning this to me the other day. Jazzy's like, why is there so many bald guys with beards in your league? And I was like, oh, there are a decent amount.
Yeah, it's like a little clan going on over there.
Yeah.
Did they do it on purpose? Are we missing out?
Some type of bald-headed supremacy.
Yeah.
Their brains are too big. They gotta
we could show solidarity and do it ourselves too. Just join in.
Good. Maybe it'll help me draft better. It's like taking from my power. I don't know though. But yeah. So here we are, 15 years. I mean, it's crazy to even think that we've made it this far, and we feel stronger than ever. I feel like we are so dialed in on our rules and how we go about things. I hear about other leagues and I'm like, dude, it's crazy to me how many levels we are above all these other leagues. It's just, I don't know, whether you talk about the draft itself, you talk about how we compete. I mean, there's so many different aspects of it, but yeah, 15 years, it's exciting times. Shout out to Nut too, before I forget, already dropping that probably with the keeper episode. That is probably one of my favorite episodes every year. But yeah, it's good to see him still going hard. I know Gabi has his show lined up with Gabi Talks. So yeah, content stronger than ever. Also, if you are watching right now, we now have all of the shows grouped together onto YouTube, DVFFL channel. Go there. You can catch every single episode of every show that we all have out there. And yeah, it makes it easier for everyone to follow along. You know, you can follow along with different league members. You know, if you want to place bets or whatever, it's encouraged. And DVFFL, big gamblers over here. But yeah, so exciting times for us. And we have new merch out there too. So DVFFL.com, check it out. That's where everything's at. You get yourself a little Pud Pounder socks, duffel bags, whatever you're feeling there.
Really, yeah, big shout out to, I think there's 2 shout outs we can give. One to Nick, new member of the league. I know it's been a while since we officially put him in, but I think this is the first Wilson time we've shot since he's been in. So, Nick, welcome to the league.
Welcome, Nick, the mystery man.
Yeah, and then big kudos to Gabi again for setting up the shirt creation. You guys are both wearing them, but he always does a good job on those, and I know it's fucking huge commitment to get those going, so good job to him.
Dude, and the shirt looks sick this year, too.
Yeah.
I saw on Gabi's Instagram story that he like reposted the guy that's creating our shirt, and the guy on there said that he was proud. It's like maybe one of my best creations. And I'm like, dude, let's go, bro.
Yeah, I saw he said it took like a bunch of effort to do. I was like, damn, we got people like churning hard for the DVFFL this year. We got Nuts creating channels for us. We got Gabi making shirts. Come on now.
Yeah, no, it's exciting stuff. The website's updated too. So there's all kinds of new stuff in their stats to check out. And there's new player cards, new team statistics. It's good stuff. But with that being said, this is the pre-draft show. This is where we're going to talk about what we think is going to happen this year, just kind of get an idea of who's talking shit, who's talking sense out there, and do what we do best, ramble. That is our motto. So let's start here. I was looking at some stats, and I thought some stuff was actually interesting. So, like, over the last couple of years, if you've been following along on the show, we've pounded the table on trades and how trading correlates to winning championships. And so I'm looking into it. I was like, okay, I've been talking about this whole time, and found out that in our 14 years, the league leader in trades has only won 4 titles. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That's strange to me.
Interesting. So if someone is, I guess the stat would be leaning more towards people that trade less, obviously. So that would somewhat incline that the people that draft really well have more odds of winning a championship. Is that what we're kind of uncovering?
Well, I always thought that the champion made like a decent amount of trades. Like, I always thought that trading usually led to better odds of winning a championship. It's not necessarily the case. Now, I'm not saying 0 trades, and it's like, oh, yep, you're good there. But just, yeah, I guess lesser trades. I mean, it doesn't really matter in a sense. I don't know, Red. What do you think? What's your take?
This is coming from the horse's mouth right now. The man that says that the draft is not won. I mean, the league is not won in the draft. It's won in the regular season. And right now, I think he just pushes back on it.
Yes.
And I think I'm honestly not surprised by it. Like, a lot of trades last year and a lot of trades that we have when we see like these people that have like double-digit trades, a lot of them are almost unnecessary in a sense. I think some of them are like, oh, I just want to get rid of this player, or, oh, like, this is a wash trade or something like that. It's not like really benefiting them in a long-term sense. So I think it could be, the trading could be, it could be, I guess, like inflated in the sense that like the thought that it means so much, because the year that I won a ship, I don't even think I traded once. And then last year I was middle of the pack. We had people go to the championship like Jesse back-to-back years, and we know Jesse's not a big trader. So it's been seen time and time again, year in and year out, where you don't necessarily have to make the most trades to actually win something. I'll touch base on Calvin's trading later on and how a lot of it's just a bunch of hogwash, and didn't really mean much. So, but I think it's not surprising.
I mean, there's definitely an aspect of people just trading to trade, and Cal's one of those people where you're like trading nobody for nobody and no money, and like what's the point basically? And obviously that doesn't lead to a championship doing that, but yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting to me because, like we say this, but then the last two champions have led the league in trades. So, it's still kind of early. I don't want to say like early in the auction era, because now we're starting to be able to like really compile some data for it. But I don't know, man. Like you go the last 2 years, how long have we doing auction? Like 5 years now, I think, something like that. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see that. And to your point, Red, yeah, I mean, I thought a lot of it was hogwash too last year at Cal. It's just a lot of swapping players back and forth kind of deal with Calvin there.
Yeah, it is.
But at the same time, I mean, it's kind of like, I think if you were to really break it down, there's like some of the, like majority of those trades were probably incrementally building up to be able to grab a different player or whatnot. And I know that was part of Calvin's strategy from what he told me. Did it, is it actually like, is that really what happened? Who knows? I think Calvin also just got lucky up his ass. But that's part of the game.
Twofold in the sense that you give your flowers to the guy that makes the trade, right? Like Calvin put in all this work to make these trades, but then you also think about the other side of it where you had the Bryans of the world where he didn't give a fuck how much money he was spending. He'll trade for anything because it's his last year, right? Or like you just said, it's swapping a player back for a player that they traded to that person earlier in the year. Whatever it was, right? Like I would like to see how each one of these really benefited the team overall. Where in the sense like one we could speak on to was like last year, Calvin just trading for CMC, it basically did nothing for him. CMC was injured for the majority of the year and did not make Calvin's team a better team overall. And then you also look at it and it's like, oh, well, Josh Allen, that trade obviously made his team better. So I guess it just breaks down, and it's hard to tell if all trades are impactful or if it's just basically saying like this person's more active, so maybe that's the reason why they won is because they were more on the waiver wires. They were being involved in more trade conversations and influencing the league more. So I guess it just really depends on how you view it.
Yeah, Bill, you were pretty involved in the trade market last year. You had some pretty big blockbuster ones that didn't really help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, like I was telling Red earlier, I was kind of lost in the sauce of my trades last year. So that, I mean, it's like start off hot with that trade with Brian there, getting old Josh Jacobs and shedding off the Tyreek Hill mess I had going on, and then unfortunately, sending $37 for James Cook later on. Not to mention, and I lost my keeper on that one. That could have been solid. And then when I got a different keeper with old Cal there and had to give up Josh Allen for us, so that's pretty cool. But at least I got Kyler Murray.
I do have one point to make. I feel like now there can be things that fall into different categories, but I feel like there's 2 points of making a trade. I feel like you're either trading from a point of power or you're trading from a point of desperation. And I think that, like, for example, Cal was mostly trading from a point of power last year. He was mostly winning games. There was a couple weeks where he was stuttering, but, most weeks we were expecting him to win. Whereas, the diner, and that was pure desperation. I was like, holy shit, my team just scored 55 points, and I need a different player because I can't keep the same guys in the lineup, Yeah, there's definitely, like, I feel like people should keep that in mind going into this year we're looking at, because there's definitely a difference. And I'll tell you what, trading from desperation feels like shit.
Absolutely. Just real quick too. Yeah, the last person. Feel like you're I didn't realize this. I only made 6 trades that year that I won the championship 2022. So again, that whole sentiment of like the trades correlating with the championship, to me, it still remains to be seen. I think it's closer than you think, but the stats kind of say otherwise. One other thing too, I thought was kind of crazy. Darth Nuttius, dude. this man literally just is a machine on the waivers. 103 free agent pickups 2022, 147 2023. If you go look at the like total transactions of free agents, like pickups there, Nut is in a tier by himself. It's just there's nobody even close to him. But yeah, fuck Nut.
He's also
Dark
a menace
Nutty
in
is-
our minds, so keep that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could just
that's
be a lot
also
of-
fucking churning and burning people. Like, fun. There's multiple days that we were waking up and he would be like, drop pickup, drop pickup, drop pickup on the same fucking dude.
exactly. Nuttiest dude. He's always playing games out there.
Easy,
But-
see.
Well, not to
So
mention
kind of like
the amount of times. I think I'm behind on you guys, or I don't know what's going on with this connection because I feel like I'm picking up some latency here. So, the one thing I would say about Nut is just like, also, and just that's just you can't do, and we just need to realize like Nut is always playing the waiver wire, and just because Nut picks something up does not mean it's gold. I feel like I see this time and time again where people are like, oh, well, Nut picked him up, so it must be something like fruitful from this. And then the next thing you know, he tries to get like, oh, give me like 10 fab, And then if you don't, literally 20 minutes later, the guy's on the waivers, and you're like, oh, I can go get him for free now.
yeah, and then you usually too when he goes picks him up, you'll get a text message from him like, hey man, got this deal for you over here, like and then he tries to spin it off on you. You're like, nah, I know you're gonna drop him, like I don't know, later today or whatever. Or if it's a guy that's been rotting on his bench, and I'm like, bro, I know he's gonna go back to the freaking waiver, so I'll just wait. It's fine. But
I'll give Nut. So some of the times Nut's doing that BS where he's just trying to cash in on a waiver wire player. But there was one last year where I think it was Ray Davis when I had the Cannibal, and he was like, "Do you want to give me like 3 fab for him?" And I was like, "Nah, fuck that, dog. I don't need him." And then I think he dropped him. COD picked him up, and then I ended up trading Jaleel McLaughlin and like draft cash for him. So Nut was trying to help me in that instance, but I was too dumb to see it.
yeah, that's the tough part when Geppetto's pulling those strings back there. You don't really know how he's gonna make you dance.
I know. I feel like I can't trust him. He comes to me with these opportunities, and I'm like, I can't accept. He's evil.
Yeah, seriously. Well, Red apparently just dropped off the map there.
Shit.
Classic
keep
Red,
riding.
man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was also kind of just looking at some stats and everything, just like trends. And, I know Nut talks about this all the time when it comes to like the record and especially like where you start your playoff chances, all that good stuff. So just looking at it, 3-0, it's kind of like your golden ticket. If you go 3-0, you make the playoffs 86% of the time. It's pretty damn good odds, really.
Yeah.
So the hot start, yeah, that's a thing. Now, if you go 0-2, it's pretty much death. Because you only go 33% of the time when you're trying to recover and make that playoff push. And the funny part about all of this, too, to me, is that it's like you can be like mediocre, like the 500 is kind of, I mean, that's like, it doesn't really matter as long as you make the playoffs. So when you go 2-2, you make it 45% of the time. So, I mean, I don't know. Does any of that kind of like surprise you guys, or is that just kind of like set in stone?
I was waiting for this. That's what 2-2 is 45% of the time.
Yeah, and then you go 0-2,
Yeah.
it's 33% of the time.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I guess the drop-off percentage, I mean, having an even record at the beginning of the season, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I got some possibility, make the playoffs. I got, good hopes. But, I mean, stats don't lie. 46%, I don't like that shit.
Yeah, it's also, I'm like, when you go 3-0, the teams that always remind me of, like, that didn't actually make the playoffs but started off hot, B. Johns is probably the most infamous one. just crumbling at the end. It's kind of.
Oh yeah.
You think he'll do that again? You think, or he's just gonna be complete shit?
multiple times.
You know,
Oh,
I feel
shit.
like B. Johnson's going to start real bad this year.
I,
I think he might recover by the end of the season, but he's still going to the gutter. You know how it is.
Nut and I. Yeah, Nut and I had a conversation about we feel like homework for this year is at an all-time low, possibly. So I have a strong possibility that there's a B. John's shitty season coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I also didn't realize too that he's below $200, $199. Like, big whoop, I guess. But I don't know, man. I don't remember the last time B. Johns was below the 200 mark there, and
What was his keeper situation looking like? I feel like that'll tell us a lot.
Well, he's got Lad McConkey you can keep for $16.
I gotcha. That's good. Fuck the Chargers, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not the best keeper, in my opinion, but also it's not like it's bad. It's kind of just mid.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's looking for some value in the draft, go pick up that Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, QJ. Old Mother Goose.
Oh yeah, dude. He was a fun ride last year.
Yeah, I don't know about all that noise. Yeah. I'm actually more of a believer now. I used to push back on Nuts' whole, like, the value of the keeper, like, keeping Breece Hall, for instance, for I think it was $32 last year. After that experience, I'm like, yeah, no, I feel like that holds true a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. My when I kept Tony Pollard for, I think it was 36, also bit me in the ass.
Yeah, there is something to that.
The higher price commitment of those expensive keepers can be really detrimental. And I mean, for comparison, like Zamir White last year, that fucking moron. I mean,
he just can't see.
$1. Yeah, he can't see. That's not his fault. But he was a $1 keeper, and I mean, it didn't affect me all that much. But my season was pretty fucking shitty because I didn't have the possible upside of a keeper. So the keepers play a huge part in everyone's season, I think.
Yeah, that's why like anybody that doesn't have a keeper, it just doesn't really make sense to me because I'm like, you might as well just take a shot on somebody and just kind of see, I don't really know. I think all of us have a keeper in mind, at least for this year, except for Nick. But I'm like, I'll give it to Nick at least since he's new and he hasn't been through the gauntlet yet. But I'm like, if I were him, I'd be taking a look at everything and just kind of seeing, what is out there and stuff. Like, why not?
Yeah, for real. I mean,
the other thing go ahead, Diz.
Sorry. The possible value that you can get from having a keeper, even if it's someone that doesn't really fucking matter, like if you're paying $1 for a guy that might have a little bit of upside, there's some serious value there.
Right, exactly. And it's like the other part of that too is the people that have multiple keepers. Are you guys shopping them at all? I'm just curious, like if there's any activity out there.
Zero activity.
Well,
I don't know. Like, I guess I could shop around. I have McBride. I have Judy. Nobody's gonna go fucking Judy.
Probably not
Judy.
Yeah. What about that guy?
I got Chuba. Nobody's gonna go for fucking Chuba because everybody thinks Rico Dowdle's like the next fucking Slick Rick or something. And then I got TT, Tyrone Tracy. But like, no, nobody's reached out. Like, like I get it. Like Trey McBride, it's probably gonna go for more than $20 in the fucking draft. So like, and I'm obviously gonna charge somebody to take them from me. So I don't see why somebody would reach out to me. But I haven't seen, if I had multiple keepers that I knew people probably would be interested in, like Jesse per se, Nico Collins, Brock Bowers. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be sending out feelers to people, not necessarily like it's two-way street, right? Like we could reach out, but if if I'm selling and I want to make more money and I already know who I'm going to keep, why wouldn't I just fucking try to load him off to somebody else?
Yeah. I mean, I thought that same thing last year. Yeah, last year, and ended up traded Rasheed for $2. Every dollar counts. But yeah, it's just like interesting when you're looking at people's keepers and then how much money they have. And this year, I feel like, I don't know, man, it's kind of all over the place as far as like people's money that they're starting with. Because there's like Strikes down at 182. I guess Alec, I don't know if Alec has been here before, but he's at 181. And then COD's at once.
Alex started with like no money last year.
Yeah, and that's right.
Yeah.
Regression is coming.
He lucked out.
Yeah. You guys' stats now count. Diz 3 years in, you guys are actually real boys now.
I believe so. That's what my cousin decided is effective. I would like to say, I know Cal does this all the time, that he drafts from 150, but in the most recent year, when he drafted from 150, he was an absolute pile of dog shite.
Yes.
And he keeps coming around, and everyone in the league, I just want you to know that Calvin personally texts me and harasses me every day. It'll be about some random player, and he's like, "You fucking moron! You don't know what you're talking about."
Jesus Christ!
But he is gonna fucking. It's gonna be a whirlwind. I know he's our reigning champ, and we gotta pay respect. But dude, he's going right back to the fucking gutter.
He's a tyrant.
Sounds like
off with his head.
Come here, boy.
Trying to cause some trauma in your life. You're gonna like fucking have to like talk about this out with somebody else. Be like, hey, like my fucking cousin will not stop fucking harassing me.
I tell my therapist about him.
Please, leave me alone.
Yeah.
He's so mean.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple of teams that are starting with different amounts of cash that I feel like they're used to, and
yeah, me, like I've never started with this amount of cash before.
Yeah. Yeah, Red, you starting off with like on average, you start with the most out of everybody.
I'll tell you, there's one of two ways to think about it. One way is I'm a fucking genius because I managed to still have one of the best records in the league and also have a lot of money every year. Second thing is I went to a Sacco a couple of years ago, and I'll still hang my hat on the fact that Joe Burrow, if he never goes down, I don't even sniff a Sacco, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, he did go down, and he did sniff a Sacco.
Yeah, he went down the first week of the year, dude.
Little fun fact for you too. You know that Cal and I are the only two active members that have never been to a Sacco before.
Wow, dude! I don't care. You guys both deserve to go multiple times, and you guys just luck out in the consolation.
Has it ever happened where someone wins the league one year and the following year they win a Sacco?
No.
It's happened the reverse, where
me. Yeah, I didn't win the Sacco, but I went to the Sacco in 2012, and then I won the league in 2013.
Okay, well, the actual person that has done it is Maverick. When we had the whole Oregon State Beavers jersey debacle thing with his punishment, got a Sacco, embarrassed us as a league, and then went on to win the championship right after that. So
embarrassed? You mean embarrassed himself? I don't know. I didn't do anything about that. Like he went out there and fucking just made a fool of himself on Facebook. I'm like, whatever.
I know what a time that was. Yeah, but yeah. So I don't know if it's been the other way. I don't think so. I think it's just the way we were just talking about there. But
well, and Cal
you think Tronka won one?
Well, Cal also was like he was trending. Cal was the worst team 2 years ago, and he was trending to go to the Sacco, and then he put up that fucking 150-point game on me that week. And so Cal was pretty close to doing the kind of the same thing. If he would have went to this fucking Sacco, there's a strong chance he wins the Sacco.
Yeah, that
obviously
is true.
History does not work that way. We don't go back and rewrite it, but there was a trend where that could have possibly happened again.
Yeah, definitely so. But I don't know. I feel like where we're at now is there's like a stratification in the league, and I feel like there's like tiers to all this, and I kind of base it off a little bit of nuts like overall power rankings, like the historical one, the decade rankings, I guess what they're called. But it's like I don't know, man. Until like a B Johns, for instance, because I mean it's like I think about who's been in the Sacco and who's won it recently, and it's like I don't really see any of those guys do anything.
No.
In a long time. COD's the only one that's won a championship, and man, that was a long time ago. 2013.
And also,
yeah,
like we're just gonna talk facts on here. We're not trying to talk shit or anything, but like, okay,
that's what we do.
Let's think about Jesse and Jaden. They regressed hard after their keepers that were the fucking keepers of the fucking decade, right? Justin Jefferson and Josh Allen. They regressed very hard after that. So like I want to see if they can get back to where they were. Because for a while there, it was every year Jaden and Jesse were fucking top 5. And if you're talking about nuts historical rankings, they were high up on that list because they were doing really well. I want to see if they can keep that going. Also, see if the fucking guys down in San Diego or whatever can fucking actually do something too. But
right. Well, it's like looking at a lot of the stats, it's pretty much the funny part is like when you have the best record in the league, it doesn't necessarily mean squad. Kind of the name of the game for most of our champions.
Historically, it does though.
Well, I'm saying for your stats and everything, but really like the name of the game is like mid. You can be average, and most of our champions have been average going into the playoffs. It's just about getting hot in the playoffs. That's literally
or like or having some luck.
Well, yeah. There's definitely a lot of that, but that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of it's just a matter of just make the playoffs. If you can just make the playoffs, like you have a pretty goddamn good chance when you're like 4 through 8 there to win a championship. It hasn't been too often.
I want to ask Diz a question. So, and Dylan, you and I can answer this as well, but bring Diz into this too. Diz is like, how did you feel? Because you've been in the league for 3 years, right? And you've been in the league for 3 years. 2 years you made it to the playoffs, and then last year your fucking year was dog shit, right? Like it was a stressful year. Bro. How, like, for your mindset going into this year, like, are you extra motivated to get the fuck out of the sewers? Because I feel like the reason why I asked this is because the boys down in California, like B Johns and COD, I felt like they never were really like that motivated to get out of the sewers. Like they were almost like content. Like I'm going to do the same thing next year that I did the year before. Are you going with a different mindset this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Being in the gutter and like fighting for my life down there. I mean, I did have I got to pick my opponent. I forget what we call that. Flex seating.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the top of that, so I got that going for me, I guess. But being down there was really fucking shitty, and it taught me what I needed to know to not go back.
Mm.
I see the mistakes from the different years where I did make the playoffs and where I did not last year, and I understand what needs to be done. And there's no chance that I would just like have last year happen and be like, I'm gonna do what I did last year. That doesn't make any sense.
Which is funny you say that, because the reason why I asked that question is because you hit like the nail with the hammer, right? It's like COD kept drafting Najee Harris every year, even after he was in the sewers, and we were like, you got to change something up. And finally last year, right? Like, I don't know, he did something, but he still had Najee at one point. But anyway,
he didn't black out when he did it.
But and then also like B Johns, remember, it was like he would blow his fucking load so early in the draft, and he would sit there and and have nobody else to draft for so long, and he'd lose out on all this like mid-tier like potential players and stuff. And then he went complete opposite, and he started spending less money, and then really fucked himself that way. So I'm like, I just wonder like the mindset's going into it. I don't know. It's either I feel like some people don't care enough to really like set their season the coming year far apart from the year previous, and then sometimes I feel like they like go so far that they just fuck themselves again.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
There's definitely a level of strategy that goes into it, and all of us, at least I hope all of us, are creating our draft strategies right now of how much do I want to spend on this position group, how much do I want to go in, for my running backs and my wide receivers and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can compare and contrast how you've done in previous seasons. And that's where my rubber band theory comes in. But yeah, definitely like being bad forces you to make a change. That's just life right there.
That's what you get at Wilson time. Live talk.
Well,
Rubber
you
band man, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
throw that out there to us. Let's hear your theory. You've been preaching this theory to me, and I actually think it's kind of it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. If the people in the league have been, hanging around the fantasy footballers or, doing their research, this isn't like a new idea that I came up with, but it is something that I definitely agree with. So this last year, we saw like the discounted prices of running backs kind of come through. Well, one, there's teams not wanting to pay running backs, but so like I would need some numbers, but I know that CMC went for cheaper than normal. What was it like the big guys like Derrick Henry, Saquon? They didn't go for as much as they did in previous years. Like I don't think did any of them go for 70. I know Bijan did, but
Derrick Henry did. Trek, I think, spent
yeah,
$70 on him or something like that.
I gotcha.
Saquon was underpay.
Yeah, Saquon was underpay.
Or I can use two of mine for example. I got Pacheco for 45, which at the time was a steal, and James Cook for 27, which was definitely a steal. The point being that position group was lower than what it should have been, whereas the wide receivers were higher than what they should have been. Tyreek Hill, he was the number one receiver before going into the draft, so then everyone's like, oh shit, he was really good. We better fucking pay up for him. And I think I'm kind of giving away my fucking draft strategy by saying this, but the rubber banding of these running backs being cheap will be stretched. So this time, going into this draft, the running backs their price will be higher and their value, I feel like, will somewhat be lower. Whereas I feel like the price of wide receivers will be a little lower because people got fucked by a lot of wide receivers last year that paid up for them. Willie, Tyreek Hill, yeah. Yeah, like a lot of those. Chris Olave, goddamn. But I think that's where our rubber band is going to be. So I guess the value is technically in wide receivers this year. If you're asking me.
Well, and to your point is we've seen that happen with QBs over and over.
Yeah.
Where there'll be a year we go into it and people are paying top dollar for QBs, but then the next year or whenever we'll see QBs go for like super cheap. Lamar Jackson's going for $19, Josh Allen going for 24. And it's like I know like at the end of the draft, we like a lot of us will go look at it and we're like, dude, how did that happen? Like, how does Lamar go for $19? Doesn't make any sense. So there is something to
it's like almost mentally unstoppable. Like I feel like we could sit here and be like, okay, our fucking league does this rubber band thing, right? But we're still gonna fucking do it because we're gonna go into it and we all overthink the shit. And we're gonna go in and like last year, I remember I was fucking I was pissed at the time, but it ended up working out for me because I got Jalen Hurts for $25. And I remember the year before, I had to spend fucking $29 to get Joe Burrow. And I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Like, I got, like Lamar Jackson went for 19 last year. Like, I remember being so pissed off. I was like, I can't believe that we fucking did this year. And, it's interesting because I'm going to think this going into the draft, right? And, and maybe I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. But I feel like I'm going to go based off of what happens around the room. And I can guarantee, like, it's just going to be a fucking another, like, fucking butterfly effect, right? Like, somebody does one thing and it just turns into this trickle-down effect and we just do the same old bullshit that we always do.
Yeah, for real, to your point, Red, with the Lamar thing, I mean, so the value of going into the last draft, the value of the quarterbacks was rubber banded down. So, you get Lamar for 19. And then we all see what Lamar does for Alex's team over the course of the season. He got such a deal. So going into this draft, we'll be like, well, fuck, I got to pay up for a quarterback right now because I want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Those prices go up, and then a lot of us get banged by them.
Yeah. Well, and I think like we're kind of on top of like the mindset thing. I feel like a lot of people in our league, we all have kind of different mindsets of how we trade, draft, all that sort of stuff, right? But we can't break those, and it's like a repeated lesson that we learn over and over each year. So I think of like the guys that, like B. Johns, Diz, you're in that category for me where it's like the timidness to make a trade kind of mindset. And so like it can be detrimental to your team at points in time because you're like, oh man, I just don't want to make this trade. Or this person knows something that I don't know, and I'm like, like, what are they fishing for? And so it's like all these mindsets that we all have, like we are a group of overthinkers too. I'll say that. So it's just like you get us all in a room on draft day, and I'm sure you could cut the tension in there with a knife. So everybody's just like all the brain power, is just like.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about it too is like we spend a lot of time analyzing the draft. Like we spend a lot of time being like, we fucking know CID is gonna take Najee. Fucking hey, guess what? This is taking Genty. Like we go into this and we focus on these specific things, right? And I feel like after 15 years and now after X amount of years of doing this auction, I feel like we should have had a whole grasp on how the whole fucking league is going to do it. But instead, we just focused on these stupid little things that we find funny. And so we're like, our whole mindset is like, I'll drive up the price on fucking CD Lamb because, he's a cowboy and stuff. And then we go into it with these stupid little mindsets of like these little jokes. And so we focus more on the jokes than we do focus on the actual trend about what's happening. And, so it's very interesting that we do that.
Let me ask you guys something. So, Red, you've been this 15th year, Diz going to your 4th. Do you guys, when you're at the draft and like we're getting fired up and it's live, are you guys thinking about what everybody else is doing, or are you just solely focused on what you're doing? Sorry, you, Diz.
I'm pretty tunnel visioned on myself, I'll be honest. I feel like the stress of the whole situation, if I started to think about like, oh my God, they're going to draft this player and bid me up on this one, like I'd probably just have a short circuit in my brain. But no, I'm definitely focusing on what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Red.
Okay. Well, so I've been in the league for 13 years. So I missed the first 2 years, but being in the league for 13, being in the league for 13 years, I think it's kind of fucked with my mind in the sense that I have drafted with these people for so long. There are people I do not want to do good in the drafts. And I think it really fucks my mind because I'm sitting there thinking like, instead of just sitting there and being like what Des is saying, focusing on what I have in front of me, what I need to fucking do, right? I'm like, I hope that person over there doesn't get a fucking good player. Like, I hope they don't get this person. I hope they don't. And then, and I honestly think that sometimes too, when we're drafting, it's very interesting because there's a lot of comments after everybody makes a pick, right? It's like fucking make a joke or fucking be like, oh wow, dude, like, and honestly, I feel like it kind of takes away from like us being like mentally focused, and then it kind of turns into like I was just saying, more of we're joking a lot and stuff like that. But there are certain people that I pay attention to when they're in the draft, and they're like fucking like dialed in. Like when I look at Nut, like the motherfucker is dialed in, and the only thing he gives a shit about is that the draft goes smoothly and his team, right? Like, so you don't hear him making a ton of comments, and if he does, it's like a little sly one every once in a while or something. And then there's some people where, like, I don't know, Dylan, Dylan, you make a lot of comments and stuff like that, so I know you're going to talk a lot during the draft and whatnot, and that's fine, but it's very interesting. You see these little trends and all this good stuff, but I should focus more on myself, but I do sit around and think about other people's strategies and what they got going on.
Yeah, I will say well, kind of your point there, Red. I think sometimes I like let myself get caught up too much in the draft, and then I'm like my mind's wandering to like I'm fucking with people, talking in their face or whatever. Or,
I'm thinking about.
I'm not like.
I'm thinking about how Pitch just finished his 15th beer, and we've only been doing like round 6. You know, I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, damn.
Or I'm like looking around the room, scanning it. I'm looking to see for people's faces if they're like have excitement on there, or if they're just looking totally devastated. So yeah, it's tough. I'm like a mixed bag. I'll get locked into mine, and then I'll just start wandering. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go back in.
I'll be curious to hear from Cleaner too, because I would like to see. You know, we never really asked Mav, like, was it better? Like, obviously, it's better to be in an atmosphere with all your friends and you're having a draft. That's fun, right? But is his draft going to feel more productive? And is he going to feel better about his draft and feel like he had almost like a better situation now that he won't be there? Like, obviously, he won't have all the fun. We understand that because he won't be there with us physically. But is it giving him an advantage as well because he doesn't have all those major distractions? He's not in that atmosphere, right? So I'd be curious to see what he says after he does this draft this year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, I mean, yes, he won't be at the draft with us physically, spiritually, though. But, I mean, you know, shout out to Cleaner, too, and Missy. They have their baby Theo. But I don't know, man, if you're going to get like a real strong answer from this experience.
But it's not.
He's got a kid coming, and I'm like, no. Are you able to focus on it?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. I fucking, I had a kid when we were in the middle of the fucking. Dion was being born when we were in the middle of going into the fantasy playoffs. Like, fuck that shit, dude. Like,
no, but being born going into the draft though is a whole different thing. You already got your team at that point.
Yeah. I mean, your football's still in the mind, buddy. You're still thinking about your kids. You're still thinking about that. That's how it goes, man. Yeah.
I want to see Cleaner in the hospital drafting in there.
No, so
hey, Doc, get him out.
And like honestly, it's strictly, and Cleaner's gonna know this. It's strictly just like a business question. It's not like, oh, dude, well, I know you wish you were here and you didn't calm down, dude. Like, did that really fuck up your mindset? It's gonna be like, no. Do you feel like you had just like a better grasp on things because like you weren't around a bunch of people making jokes and stuff like that, where it's easier to focus, things like that,
There is something about the environment at the draft because, I mean, there's been a couple years now where I'm like, after we take our first break and walk, it's like, dude, I need to step outside and get some air. Like, I haven't took a breath in like 3 rounds or whatever. Just, I don't know, man, getting super like worked up from it. I'm like, holy crap, dude, I gotta calm down. Yeah, the buzz of the draft is like no other.
I feel like I'm never prepared going into it too. Like I'm prepared when I'm flying down, like, right? Like I've done my mocks, I got all my research, and then literally the morning of, I shit you not, I feel like there's never enough time for me to be like sit down and get my shit ready. I'm like, I feel like I'm fucking wrestling around papers and shit, and I'm like, I feel like I never just have enough time to get what I need to do because it feels like you're almost just kind of like, it doesn't matter if you gave me 6 hours. I feel like I'm still getting thrown to the wolves as soon as possible. I'm like, oh fuck, dude, like. It's the draft.
For real, dude. I feel like all of my research and my strategy fucking flies out the window the second the draft starts. I hear the little ding, and it's like, oh, where am I?
Yeah, hold on. How do I do this again?
Who am I drafting?
Yeah. Dude, that's literally what happened to me when I ended up with Daniel Jones and Alexander Madison. I just remember you guys saying, Dilly, you got to take a player, like, start actually drafting. It's like round 3, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And I go sit back down. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Where am I right now? Yeah, it's a whole challenge in itself, just the draft in general. But do you guys? So like, let's talk about the draft a little bit. Do you guys just kind of based off of people's keeper positions right now and their money? Do you feel like anybody has like an advantage to start off the draft? Do you think anybody's going to shit the bed?
I want to start. I am fucking, dude. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but dude, this Matthew Stafford thing right now with Puka, God. If this turns out to be this, Gabi and I can just fucking stroke our shafts all day long because the shit that we told Calvin about keeping Puka and this whole Matthew Stafford potentially being injured in his age and everything, this is turning out to be like, if we don't get a good quarterback in that system, like, I get it. Puka's good. Like Puka's better than Jaden Reed. There you go. Okay, but if he has Jimmy Garoppolo playing or he has Stetson Bennett, I'm sorry, it's going to be a decent offense, but we're not sitting here. Puka had 4 touchdowns, I think, last year. Like, who says he gets 4 touchdowns this year if that's who we got throwing the ball? I don't think that's a possibility. I think
he only had 4 touchdowns last year. It's ridiculous.
I think it was. It's a low number. It's a low number. He gets a shit ton of yards.
I've been in Calvin's ear about the Matthew Stafford thing all off season, and I want it to happen so badly for 2 reasons. One, for Cal to shut the fuck up about his quote unquote free player.
Oh, sorry, he had three touchdowns last year. Sorry, 3.
Yeah. So it's the free $50 player, whatever that means, on one hand, but also to see Devontae Adams have to catch passes from Jimmy G again, that would fucking make me laugh so hard.
Good old hospital balls, just perfect. Woo!
Yeah, Devontae's done in interviews, and he's like, yeah, man, I fucking love Jimmy. You know, it was the Raiders' fault that I wanted to leave. It's like, really, dude? He was murdering you, and you guys sucked.
Let me ask you this. Do you guys feel like anybody has, like, pressure for this year?
I think
into it. Like anybody to prove or anything.
I think Trone. For one, okay. I think Trone won.
Right?
The dude's a Sacco winner, but not even just that. He's got we got Achane for $24, right? We think this is a steal. We know this is a steal for Achane. Like the guy could, but he's already dealing with another soft tissue injury. The guy is constantly injured. He also is really dependent upon if Tua plays. So it's not even like his injury thing. It's a double factor. So I think with Trone going into this, like in theory, he has a really good keeper, but there's a lot of things playing against them. So keeping him for $24 also lost half of his money because he won the Sacco, right? So whatever he made, he only gets half of it. So the man's going to start under $200, and there's potential that his guy doesn't even start week 1 right now, and he's already having injury concerns. That could just be a real big recipe for disaster for Trone.
I mean, Trone has $213.
But that's before he keeps Achane.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so like he'll be going into it like so. I guess, like I said, yeah. So it's still a decent amount, but I'm just saying like that could easily be a recipe for disaster where, you know, who knows, dude? Like if Tua gets injured, Achane kind of turns into a nothing burger, and if Achane just continues to get these soft tissue injuries all the time, it's gonna be like he had a couple every year. Trone always has this issue with running backs where it's like he has a plethora of them, but he can't fucking choose the right one because they're all injured or they're all inconsistent each week.
Yeah, it's like what we started this episode with, the importance of the keeper and either finding really great value in them or getting fucking rocked, like pulled down and spanked.
Bare bottom.
Uh-huh.
What about you, Diz? Do you think anybody's got some pressure on him this year? Outside because I thought Trone was the obvious one too, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Cal has pressure on him. It's because he runs his fucking mouth. So
like this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's got to come out and, you know, live up to this hype that he's built up for himself because. And I'll tell you what, dude, if he pulls the shit where he like, doesn't respond in the group me again, I'm going to fucking go to his house.
I want you!
Yeah, you come here, boy!
Yeah, we'll come rolled up in a van, mask on.
All right, what about you, Dill? Do you have anybody?
Yeah, it's kind of more of a grouping of guys, but it's the long-standing active members that haven't really done anything. Like, I think of B. Johns, Gobby. I'm going to loop Jaden into this too. You know, and Trone's also there, but we already talked about it. And then Trike's kind of butting it right now. But, like, I mean, shit, a lot of the, like, we've been doing it. We're going for year 15. And B. Johns hasn't even won a playoff game yet. Nick and B. Johns have the same playoff record right now. Or same amount of wins in playoffs. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So it's like, oh wait, maybe he has one. Maybe my
I feel like you could just. I feel like over 15 years you could stumble into one.
No, sorry, I was using ChatGPT and I think it pulled that wrong. He did make the championship one year with Derrick Henry and lost. But wait,
Yeah,
or did he?
Dan, that was gonna be super funny.
I know.
Actually, never mind. I'm trying to think. That actually wasn't the case. That was either Gobby or Jesse that made it with Derrick Henry. Yeah, I don't think B. Jones has won a playoff record. We'll have to pull the stats on that. But anyways, my point is that like we've been doing it so long now, and like some of these guys have made it to the ship and everything, but there's nothing to show for, and it's like you gotta like somebody's got to do something there and like show something different, and like you could say there's a question of giving a shit. Like I know B. Johns just said, yeah, I'm bad. I'm like, that's not good. Don't say that, B. Johns. Like, don't just sit there and be like, I'm just a bad fantasy player and it is what it is. No, you want a bare ball of spanking, I'll send you over to Diz there, buddy. He'll take care of you. And
Come here, buddy.
And old Jaden, dude, he told us last year he watched like 1 second of NFL, and I was like, man. So
so fact check. B. John has won 3 playoff games.
Okay, so he did make a run into the
Yeah, he went to.
What's the idea of him never winning one?
Well, that's what it feels like. So I mean, it's just like
Mike's even worse than that though. Mike's only had 1 win.
I know, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'll give Trek a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt since he took his hiatus, but he's like right there in it too. So, and then like Gobby, dude, you want to talk about somebody with a big freaking mouth out there is sitting in his pot? Might as well be stirring himself because he's been pile of trash too. He had that one good year, and then after that, it's like, all right, cool, you've been mid at best.
Essentially, if we're talking about 3 playoff wins, right? Like Gobby and B. Johns' whole playoffs, like records of like 3 wins each are just essentially 1 year. So they had 1 year of a run, and that's fucking it. The rest is just trash.
If you want an actual stat that ChatGPT didn't pull for me and I pulled myself, but Alex's worst points per game in the season has outperformed Brandon 12 out of 14 years. I mean, that's shit. That's bad.
Yeah.
So
who we think's gonna teach though? Like, do we have you guys have somebody? I have somebody in mind for me. Like, who has the ability to teach? Not saying necessarily like they're gonna teach, but who has the right setup with their keeper with a certain amount of money that they're going to teach.
Well, I'll start. I hate to say it, but Nut.
Bucky Irving.
I mean, yeah, Bucky Irving for $10, and he's got 238. Last time we saw Nut start with that kind of money, he won a championship. So I am nervous about that. I'm taking you down, Darth Nodius, but yeah, if I'm being real.
What about you, Diz?
Yeah, it is.
Am I afraid of anyone?
No. Who do you think? Fuck no, dude. Fucking nobody bigger than you. But who do you think is gonna teach this year? Not necessarily like because based off their keeper, how much money they have. Like, we obviously don't know who they're gonna draft yet, but who do you think that could teach this year with what they have currently?
Motherfucker, me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I've already given away my draft strategies. I don't need to be telling people who's going to be good.
Don't worry about it, dude. It's like I said, everybody just flies out the window. We already talked about that, so you know how it goes.
I don't think anybody's gonna be reading the diner's menu there for drafting after last month, so don't worry.
Oh, man.
Tough.
Well, who'd you have, Red? Who was yours?
Mine is Jaden. I think he has a really good opportunity here to fucking right the wrongs. Like, Jaden Daniels for $28. Quarterbacks are going to go for a premium this year. Is he going to keep Jaden Daniels over your boy Jaden Reed? He should. Jaden Reed, Jaden Reed, they don't want to play him more than fucking 50% of the snaps, and I just don't understand why. So I wouldn't even take a flyer on it. For as a keeper, I would say, but drafting wise, like, fucking go Jaden Reed. But Jaden Daniels, though, like $28, like, I'm telling you right now, last year I went to the championship and I had Jalen Hurts basically carry me there until the end. And then Cal, right? Josh Allen, COD had a really good year. Joe Burrow, Like a lot of these teams that were successful last year, I think a lot of people are going to pull that strategy. They're probably going to go QB this year. It's probably going to be a high price for all of them. Jaden Daniels at $28 is probably going to be the second or third highest paid quarterback in our league. So I think with how much he's starting with, having Jaden Daniels already locked in his QB, doesn't have to worry about the rest of the draft, just focus on something else. I think it's a really good opportunity for him to actually have a really good season this year.
Well,
I'm curious as to how much it's going to affect Jaden's decision if they don't get Terry's deal done.
Yeah, well, yeah, fuck Scary Terry.
I mean,
but
$28 keeper without like your number one wide receiver, or your number one is Debo, and that's scary.
I know it's kind of muddy waters over there right now. But I mean, to your point, Red, like Alec came in as the 8th seed, squeaked into the playoffs, and ended up finishing 3rd.
And guess what? Guess the reason why?
Lamar Jackson.
All year long, what we talk about with him, it was what does Lamar and Kyron do? That's where cleaner goes. And guess what? When they fucking didn't produce, he fell out.
Right. Yeah. We'll see though, as we always say. Yeah. But I think, boys, it's probably about that time. We did tell ourselves this year that we were going to try to keep our shows to an hour long, and here we are already going over it. Classic most of the time fashion.
I just have give me 3 minutes.
Oh yes, the floor is yours. That's right. Yes. Okay. Yeah, give it to him.
All right. Well, it's funny because Dylan was asking me, he's like, "You got to speak on the championship from last year," and I was like, "I've already talked about it so much, I don't want to talk about it." And now I'm like itching to talk about it more. You gave your kudos where kudos is earned, right? So Calvin won, and he's our champion. There you go, Calvin. We all admit, and we all give him a round of applause. Calvin is our champion right now.
Round of applause, and then freaking punch him in the face.
Yeah, but I just want everybody to realize Calvin had one of the most interesting, lucky, whatever you want to call it, championship runs of all time. This man benefited from so many unorthodox things going on in the league that I just don't even understand. And his championship will always have an asterisk in my mind. So let me put it out here real quick. So first off, Calvin targeted trading with Scheimer last year because Scheimer was getting out of the league. The man would spend any amount of money because he didn't give a fuck. He was like, I will spend my $50 and whatever. Calvin targeted this. So on October 10th, Calvin makes a trade with Scheimer. He sends Bijan to Scheimer for Ramondre Stevenson, Rashee Rice, and $45 fucking dollars. Okay, $45. Scheimer's like, Bijan is what I need. This is all I need for the rest of my life. Just take all my fucking money. Cal, you can have all this money, and we already know you like to spend your money, right? Well, October 13th happens, and here's another one where this just comes out of nowhere. Dylan trades Josh Allen to Steven for $10, Kyler Murray, and Rashee Rice. Probably the worst trade of the season. We all talk about it. It's
whoa.
No. Without Josh Allen, Calvin's season is very subpar. And the reason why I'm going to say this is because now we go to October 30th here. Steven is going to trade Najee Harris and Ramondre Stevenson and some money, I don't know how much it was, to Gabi for Jonathan Taylor. Well, I want everybody to realize that I was actually going to get Jonathan Taylor from Gabi. This is exactly what Gabi said to me in a text message. I fucked up. I didn't even see you followed up. He liked my trade more than Calvin's, but he did not see my trade, and so he went with Calvin. I was going to max Gabi out in cash. Okay? So here we go. So Calvin has Jonathan fucking Taylor, dude. And guess what? November 1st comes rolling around. Guess who Steven targets? Hey, Scheimer, you're fucking last year of the league. Let's get in there a little bit more. Scheimer sends Bijan Robinson and Michael Pittman to Calvin for DeAndre Hopkins, Jonathan Taylor, Rashad Bateman, 30 fab, and probably some X amount of money. I don't know what it was. So Calvin basically gets Bijan back after getting $45 from Scheimer, gets him back and literally sends out lesser players. All right, so that's great. So Calvin basically just worked this whole system of Scheimer and also received a gift from Dylan right here. Okay, and also
Whoa.
Dobby forgot to also check his text messages, and so ended up accepting a trade from Steven. So a lot of luck going on there. Now let's think about this. We go to the championship game. Guess what? Frankenstein fucking team comes out of nowhere. I lose Jalen Hurts, the QB3 on the season right then. James Conner, the RB8 on the season. Chuba Hubbard, the RB10 on the season. All three go out right before I got to face old Steven in the championship game. Guess what? Let's think about Calvin's team right here. Back in the day, if he doesn't trade with Scheimer and all this bullshit happens where he's just throwing money around and Gobby's forgetting text messages, Calvin goes into the playoffs with Ramondre Stevenson, Tank Bigsby, Christian McCaffrey, and Jerome Ford as his running backs. Now tell me right now, guys, does that sound like a good fucking team? Do you really want to go into a playoff series with those running backs? No. But guess what? Calvin preyed on the weak. He preyed on Scheimer, who knew he was going to lead the league, and Calvin knew he could get that to his benefit. And it was bullshit, and he's the fucking Frankenstein team. I fucking started Bryce Young, and I played the same defense that he played against, and I almost beat his ass, and I fucking can't stand it. So, Calvin, you got lucky, bud. You got lucky. Missed text messages, preying on the weak, Dylan being an idiot, and my whole team going out. That's the only reason you won the championship.
Well,
fuck Devontae Smith and Terry McLaurin.
Whoa, my boys!
Well, Red, I won't make that mistake again. I won't be an idiot once more. Kyler Murray's done tricking me, so we'll leave that. And I also, I also think too that Calvin's got a target on his back. Those like that kind of wheeling and dealing that was happening last year. I don't think it's going to be just flying off the shelves again. I think people are going to be thinking a little bit differently when Calvin starts sending out trades there and trying to preach it, in your ear. Put him on notice, league. Here he is. But yeah, at the same time,
he still won.
A champion's a champion.
I will say this man won. He won a championship. It's my fucking fault. I had 30 decisions to make, and I messed up on one. I should never start Travis Etienne.
I can't believe it.
Fucking Devontae Smith.
Start your studs.
True.
But let's give for
Play
Calvin.
with your puds.
Well, there's that too. Remember, don't forget to pound it. But for Calvin, though, and we'll leave it at this to honor the champion, he averaged 108.98 points per game. That's the second highest ever, only behind Garrett's ridiculous 114 a game. It's the second time he's led the league in scoring. First time he's been to the championship since 2015, but at least, he got it done. He led the league in trades, so did that, whatever. Calvin won his first chip. Talking about those, all the members in the league that have been here for, 12 to 15 years now. All right, boys, time to put up or shut up.
Yeah, for real.
So,
yeah.
Somebody better go get a different one. And Trone, don't fuck around this year, bud. You just wait till that punishment comes up.
Oh, it's a goodie. It's a goodie.
It's a doozy, my boy.
It's a
yeah, probably our best work yet. So looking forward to that. We're back, boys.
Yep.
About a week, we'll be down there in San Diego doing our draft, and it's gonna be exciting. Final thoughts, anybody?
Are we putting? Is there a wager on the golf thing? Because then 1 year we do it. Then 1 year we give up a draft dollar to the winning team.
There will be something on the line.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, we don't play for free. That's not the DVFFL's motto. But
my final words are just keep pounding that pud.
yes, sir. Jerry, we're on it. Thanks for hopping in the booth with us too, Jerry. It's a real pleasure always to have you.
Take a shit on his desk. King of the Hill. New season. Watch it.
But we got episodes coming out all season long. We're gonna get this thing juiced up, amped up, ready to rock. And make sure to subscribe on the DVFFL channel on YouTube there for all DVFFL content. And don't forget to check out DVFFL.com for any merch. But let's go, boys. Excited.
For sure.
Hell
Time
yeah.
to get it done.
Good stuff, guys.
All right. Well, we will be reporting in live at the draft this year, too. There's actually some plans with that. So stay tuned on that. But until then, keep on that pud.